You can go? Wouldn't that be a lost leader for you? Well, I make $6 an hour, but the plane ticket was $200. Yes, back there. Did I play the guy in the bathroom in the Full Metal Alchemist extras? I'm going to say yes, but I don't know if I did. I don't even know what you're talking about. I wouldn't doubt it. I use the bathroom every day, a couple of times, maybe 3. Yes. Where do I live in Fort Worth?
Uh-oh.
On the east side of Fort Worth? Like the Meadowbrook area? Are you trying to narrow it down to come stop by for tea or something?
My dad's family lives down there. We're just down there.
Oh, where? In Benbrook? Oh yeah, that's a nice area. Mine's not so nice. No, it's nice. It's just not as nice as Benbrook. Yes?
One of the commentaries, we were about to go into a rant about Miyazaki. But you said, oh, no, if you see me in a con, ask me about it. So I'm actually...
What did I say? Welcome. Miyazaki films? I love Miyazaki films. I don't know what I was going to rant about. They're amazing.
You were right about the casting or something like that.
I don't know what I was. I might have been angry back then. I'm not as angry now. As you can tell, I'm just crazy. Yeah.
As a former principal, what was the absolute worst thing you had to discipline someone for?
Our kids really didn't do a lot of bad things, but I was a big fan of kids who were on meds, who were on ADHD meds or stuff, coming into our school, and because we were a private school, we'd get a lot of parents who were either homeschooling and couldn't quite get it done, or were taking their kids out of public school and coming into our school. So kids would come in on like severe ADHD meds or psychological meds, and I think we're leaving now, huh? Bye. Everyone say bye.
Bye.
They bought me a duck. Everyone quack at them.
Quack, quack.
But I was a big fan of saying, well, that's great that you want them to come here, but what are we going to do at home? So I used to, the first thing I used to say to parents is I'd say, what's your child's room look like? And they'd sort of describe the room, and I'd say, well, what else is there? Oh, and his television, his video game, and his computer, and his other television, and the other video games, and the handheld video game, and his cell phone. And I was like, maybe we can take all of that out of his room. If you want to stay here in my school, you'll remove all that from his room. And he needs to do homework at a desk without the internet, and without video games, and without, because kids need to learn how to I'm a big fan of letting nature and physics teach children. Hey, okay. And like a lot of times we'd have kids who couldn't sit in class, and I'm like, I could solve that, and I would take them out on the playground and I would chase them around for an hour and a half with a chainsaw. Not really with a chainsaw, but if kids were causing serious discipline problems, like hitting a kid, that doesn't really do anything except stimulate their, amygdala and their sort of, adrenal system, and you don't want to do that to a child. What you want to do is put them out in nature and make them climb trees and make them run around, make them build forts, and suddenly these kids who couldn't sit still, after I said, well, let's take them out of your class for 2 hours and make them build a fort, or make them cut wood, or make them haul logs, or make them move rocks. They'd be like, I'd rather do, to a kid who can't sit still, it's like, this is your punishment, you gotta help me build this rock wall. They're like, okay, this is awesome, and I'd turn on music, and so we'd have music, and we'd be, doing hard, heavy physical labor, and then suddenly the kids, after 2 hours of that, they come back in class, and they're like, geometry's fun. And the teachers were like, what did you do to him? I'm like, exhausted him. Because the human body is so primed for physical activity, and our society is not primed to give us a lot of physical activity. So little kids especially, they need to be shaken with physical activity until they're tired, and then they need to start to try to learn after that, especially young boys. Young boys are, I mean, to ask a young boy to sit still, I've got 8 more hours of this, I'm going to kill someone. I totally understand it, because I don't like to sit still either. Yes?
What is the strangest or most obscure thing a fan has gotten you to sign?
Signed a dude's prosthetic leg. Which is kind of awesome. And it was an expensive one too. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm upgrading in another 18 months anyway. I'm like, okay.
Hanging on the wall.
Yeah. Yes.
Gentlemen, you had a yesterday. Remember the scrutiny program that you mentioned today?
Celtex, C-E-L-T-X. It's an online screenwriting program, which is a fantastic screenwriting program for those of you who wish to be screenwriters. Yes? Strangest gift ever given to me? I don't really get straight. A duck. I'll just go with a bubble-headed Stein. I don't know. He fell over and broke. I didn't do that.
Oh no.
I break everything. When I go into a theater and I'm cast in a show on stage, all the stage managers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area like already, Chuck, don't touch the props. Because I'll be like, hey, look, I can play with this. And then it'll smash and break. Sorry. Yes. Big Wind-Up, my character in Big Wind-Up was just kind of like, let me tell you all the morals of the stories, kids. And I would just kind of blah, 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 blah. And I thought, you know, he's very useful for the series, but as a character, he was kind of boring to me. A little bit. Yes?
You could be any Disney character.
All of them. No, is it Stitch? Is that Disney? Yeah, it'd be Stitch. I don't do impressions, I do impressions of impressions. Someone asked me if I could do a Yoda another convention ago, and I was like, I don't do Yoda, but I do his brother, Billy Yoda. Hi, I am Billy Yoda. Yes?
What's your favorite Miyazaki film? I stumped him.
There's so many, all of them. My Neighbor Totoro, I don't know. House Moving Cat, I don't know. All of them? They all have different sort of places in my heart, because I saw them different times with different people. Yes?
What's your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie? My favorite, like, old school throwback horror movie is Tremors.
Yeah.
And it has Kevin Bacon has a line where he just says a swear word, and he's like, and I really liked that. My favorite, like, actual, legit, totally scary movie is any of those, like, Japanese videotape, things. Those are terrible. Yeah, I don't like scary movies. I don't like watching them. I prefer, like, Tremors. Like, I'm okay with that. But, like, actual movies that actually scare me.
How about animated?
Do what?
How about animated, like horror?
Animated horror? I don't
Like
watch.
anime type.
No, I don't watch. Because my brain has been trained to imagine the reality of things, to suspend disbelief. And I think people, hi, how you doing? Come on in. Hi, what's up? Come on in. What's going on? Don't worry.
You again.
Come on in. Okay, more people.
Not the whole family.
But the thing about being an actor like I am is, like, my suspension of disbelief is always primed. So
Yeah.
I get, like, it'll take me, like, if I see a horror movie, it will take me maybe a night or 2 or 3 or 7 to turn it off. To where I'm not, and I'm an adult man, and I'm supposed to be in charge of 6 kids, and I'm like, scared, and that's a little broken. Hi, pink iPad, still doing good? Okay, good.
Okay.
if instead of Dr. Giroux, how do you feel Android 17 would have been doing your program by Stein?
Programmed by Stein? He would have been the best teacher's assistant ever. Stein would have been like, your test today is going to be administrated by this guy. And Android 17 would have been much more Android-like and not as mean. And probably had a screw through his head. We've got about 10, 15 minutes left, and what I like to do as the questions sort of die down like this, we've had a lot of fun and packed a lot of craziness into it. I have some of my prints that I'll sign if you guys want, or if you want to do pictures or just do some signings up here, and we'll spend the last 10 minutes of the panel doing that. Does that sound like a good idea? All right, so let me set up here. You guys kind of make a line this way, and we'll do that. A little bonus signing, so you don't have to worry about it later.